Hello my friends and welcome back to Hami Yoga. The yoga class today, I will guide you through a flow through very familiar yoga poses, and then we will do the front split or Hanumanasana in Sanskrit. This pose is the ultimate stretch for your lower body, and I personally really like this pose because it stretches thoroughly all the thick muscles like thighs, glute, hamstring and calf. And our body really needs this stretch. So let's do the class today, and you can prepare one blanket or a small mattress so that it can support your knees, and 2 blocks. And then let's start the class in a table pose. You can put the blocks to your side so that you can use them later. And do table pose with your knees on the mattress or the blanket already, so that your kneecap will not be painful when you have them on the hard surface. Knees will be right underneath your hip bones and hands will be right underneath your shoulders. At first, 3 breaths here in this table pose. Keep your back straight and your spine in a neutral position. Take a deep inhale. Think of how your spine becomes longer by bringing your head forward and bring your hips back. And as you exhale, maintain this long form of your back by tucking your belly button up toward your spine. And continue for 2 more breaths. After this, let's do cat and cow. Inhale, arc your spine, make a back bend for cow pose. And exhale, become rounded for cat pose. Very effective warm up for your spine. Inhale, cow pose. And exhale, cat pose. As you inhale, feel how your chest opening forward in front of your arms. And as you exhale, bring your chest up really high, stretch out all the back muscles. 2 more times, try to move through all the vertebrae on your spine to warm up and bring back the mobility all over your spine. And after this, let's go all the way to downward facing dog. Inhale, raise your hips up. And exhale, bring your right heel down toward the floor as you bend your left knee. Change side, bring your left heel down, raise your right heel up. Walk slowly through the down dog. And while you walk, keep bringing your hips up higher and higher. And then inhale, raise your hips up really high. And exhale, bring both of your heels at the same time toward the floor. Maybe they cannot touch the floor for today, but keep pulling your heels down as you lift your hips up. Now inhale, go to plank pose. And you can make the plank long. Stay here in plank for 3 breaths, become very strong. Inhale, heels going back, head going forward. And exhale, tap your belly up. 1 more breath. And then let's bring your knees down toward your blanket. Slowly place your hips down toward the floor for a cobra pose. Bring your toes, nails down to the ground and press all the nails down. Bend your elbows. Pull your elbows down and back. Really big chest into cobra. Then slowly place your belly, your chest and your face down toward the floor. Slowly push up. And go all the way back to downward facing dog. 1 more time, inhale, plank pose. And exhale, this time keep your knees and your hips pretty close over the floor but without touching the floor for up dog. And then bring your knees, your thighs and then slowly your belly, chest and face down to the floor. Become rounded on your back, slowly push up away from the ground and go all the way to downward facing dog. Let's inhale, bring your right leg up and look at the toes. Point your right toes and raise your right heel up as high as you can. while everything else on your body is still in down dog. Don't change anything on your left leg. Lift your right leg further and further away from your left leg into a down dog split. For one more breath, see if you can lift your right leg up even higher. Point your toes toward the sky and then bend your knees. Bring your right knee toward your face and step your right foot toward your hand. Bring the left knee down to the floor. You can tuck your toes or you can bring the top of your foot down. Prepare your blocks with you and hold the high side of your block. Keep your ankle somewhere underneath your knee. And keep the blocks next to your hips so that now your upper body is independent from your front thigh. Let's stay here and hold your arms on the blocks. Bend your elbows, squeeze them toward the back side of your body. Raise your chest up and stay for 3 breaths. Sink your hips down lower and lower. Enjoy this big stretch on the hip flexor of the left. And now let's slowly move your hips back and then bring it forward again, back into Untitled. Keep your hands on the right side of the block and bring your left arm over your head for a side stretch. Stay here for 3 more breaths. As your whole upper body leaning toward the right, bring your hips down lower and lower toward the floor and enjoy this very big stretch. And one more thing, every time you exhale, I want you to tuck your belly button in toward your spine. And feel how the back leg is pressing down to the floor actively. And slowly get out of this. Let's move your blocks toward the front. Move your hips back, keep your heel on the floor, point your toes up toward your face. And keep your front knee pretty straight. You don't have to lock the knee, but make sure that it feels stretchy all over your calf and hamstring. Inhale, arc through your spine like a cow pose. And exhale, forward bend. 2 more times, inhale. And exhale, forward bend. Maybe you can lower your blocks now. Inhale. And exhale. Stay here in this half split and feel how the stretch is very big, spreading everywhere on your big calf muscles group and your big hamstring group. Fold your hips so much that your belly is touching your thigh. And then let's inhale, lift your chest up. This time keep your left hand on the block. Keep pulling your right hip back and bring your right hand up toward the sky. Inhale for the twist. And exhale, bring your whole right arm over your head. Stretch really big on your right side. Now let's bring your hand back and down to the floor. Let's step your front foot back, move the blocks out of your way and go all the way to downward facing dog. Now slowly walk your heels on and off the floor in down dog. And then inhale, both heels up. Exhale, both heels down, while your hips go the opposite way. Really strong forces that pulling your hips up and dragging your heels down toward the floor. Inhale, plank pose. And exhale, bring your knees and your hips very close to the floor for up dog. Bring the whole lower body and then slowly bring your belly, chest and face down to the floor. Slowly push yourself up and into downward facing dog again. Now let's inhale, bring your left leg up toward the sky, while notice that your right leg will not change and your arms are the same strong as in a normal down dog. Bring your left toes up even higher and you should feel how your left glute actually have to work a lot to bring your left leg up like this. Split your legs as far away from each other as they can. Then bend your knees and step your left foot toward your left hand position. Let's bring the right knee down to the floor, to your mattress that you prepared, and raise yourself up. Prepare your blocks with you and hold them on the long side. If you see that your knee is over your ankle, it means you have more space so that you can do a bigger stretch. You are ready for that. Keep your blocks close to your hips, bend your elbows, squeeze them toward you, raise your chest up. And the same here, you can keep your back toes tucking on the floor or all the toenails on the floor. 3 breaths. Inhale, and as you exhale, maybe your hips can be lower, even half a centimeter count. After the 3 breaths, move your hips back so that it will not be too intense, and then go forward one more time in Untitled. Your hips will go as low as it can. Hold your hand on the block on your left side and bring your right arm over your head. We stretch even deeper into the hip flexor group on your right. Stay here for 3 breaths. Make sure your back leg is really active, pressing down toward the floor to lengthen the muscle even more. And after 3 breaths, bring your hands back to hold the block. Move your hips back, no more stretch on the back leg. Let's do the front leg. Point your toes up toward your face. Inhale, arch through your spine and feel how your belly is already touching your thigh. You can bend your knee for that. And then fold yourself. Bring your whole belly and chest and face toward your leg. 2 more times. Inhale, like a cow pose. And exhale, like a cat pose. And then 1 more time. Inhale. And exhale. Stay here in the forward bend position for 3 breaths. And constantly point your toes up to the sky and toward your face. Don't let your toes point out, so that you can aim the stretch directly into the back side of your leg, where the calf, the hamstring and the glute are. Now you can lower the blocks maybe, and then inhale, lift your chest up. Keep pulling your left hip back and keep maintaining the stretch on the back side of the left leg. Right hand holding on the block, left hand up to the sky for a twist. 1 deep inhale, and then the exhale, bring your arms all the way over your head. Stretch your left side, very big here. Now you can bring your hands down to the floor and move blocks out of your way. We're going to use them later. And bring your front foot back and go all the way to downward facing dog. Inhale, raise your heels up. And exhale, bring your heels down while your hips still going up. Now stretch very much on the back side of your legs, all the way from the glute down to your hamstring and your calf. Inhale for plank pose. And exhale, lower your thighs, hovering on the floor for up dog. Lay down slowly with your belly, your chest and your face on the floor. And then slowly push up and go back to down dog. Inhale, bring your right leg up to the sky, down dog split. Try to split bigger than the previous time we were here. And maybe even bigger. And then step your right foot toward your right hand. Bring your back knee down to the floor and prepare your blocks with you. Hold the blocks on the high side, and this time you can step your front foot further forward. Maybe you are more ready for a bigger stretch on your hips, and keep your hips going lower toward the floor. The back foot, you can tuck your toes or you can put the toenails down, but in both cases, make sure that all the toes are pressing down to the floor. Now let's move the blocks behind you. Bend your elbows, squeeze them toward each other behind you. Raise your chest up. Hanumanasana will be a back bend because your hips is extended very much. So in this back bend, we still try to maintain the stability of your lower back by squeezing your belly in every time you exhale. And we practice it here. 1 more breath. And then let's move your hips back for 1 moment so that it will not be too intense. Then go back 1 more time. Now let's move your right block toward the right side and bring your left arm over your head. You can look at anything on the ground to keep your face and your head relaxed and maintain your breath while you are in this really deep stretch for your hip flexor. And then slowly come back, move your hips back, no more stretch on the back leg. Now step your front foot a big step forward, like 20 centimeters away from where we were before, and point your toes toward your face. Lower your blocks, lean yourself forward. Keep your back leg pressing down to the floor. Inhale, arch through your spine, and you already feel the big stretch. As you exhale, fold yourself. 2 more breaths. Inhale and exhale. And 1 more breath. Exhale, forward bend. Let's stay here. Even though your face and your upper body maybe can relax, but your legs feel like you want to bring your front leg back and you want to bring your back leg forward. And then slowly get out of here as you inhale. And now see if you can move your blocks closer toward you. You can hold on the high side of your block and move your front heel forward by rolling it like this. Let's stay here for the Hanumanasana and really active on your legs. Your back leg really want to kick down toward the floor. Bend your elbows, lift your chest up away from your hips so you create the length on your lower back. And then slowly get out by using your arm strength. Pull your leg back toward each other. And then move the blocks to the side. We're going to use them later. Step back into downward facing dog. Walk your heels on and off the floor in down dog. And then inhale, plank pose. Exhale, lower your hips into upward facing dog. Slowly lay down toward the floor. Your arms always stick to the sides of your body. Push up and go all the way back to downward facing dog. Feel free to find a distance between your hands and your feet so that you will be the most stable in your down dog. Inhale, bring your hips up high. And exhale, bring your heels down toward the floor. Doesn't mean you have to have them on the floor, but keep them low so that you can feel that big stretch happening on the back side of your body. And now, be very stable in down dog so that you can lift your left leg up toward the sky for down dog split. And split bigger than the last time you were here. Raise your leg up even higher. Then step your foot toward your hand position and bring your right knee down to the floor. When you raise yourself up, prepare your blocks with you, hold them on the high side. Maybe you can step your foot further forward, so it's a bigger stretch for your hips. Your hips go lower toward the floor. Walk your blocks back, even behind your hips. Bend your elbows, squeeze them toward each other, and raise your chest up. And the back foot here, you can do the same like what you did with the other leg. 3 breaths here. And remember to contract your belly muscles every time we exhale, to remind ourselves of keeping your lower back in a stable position, protecting it even when it's a deep back bend. And then before we do the side bend, let's get out of this a little bit. Move your hips back and then step your front foot down to the floor again. Keep your hips really low. Move your block to the left side. Bring your right arm over your head. Keep reaching toward the left, while the whole right leg is really strong and pressing down toward the floor. And slowly get out of here. Hold your blocks with you. And move your hips back, so no more intense stretch on the back leg. Keep your heel on the floor and actually step it a long step forward. You can lower the blocks in front of you. Keep your toes and your kneecap facing up. Inhale, bring your hips back, bring your chest forward like a cow pose. And exhale, stick your belly, your chest and your face down toward your leg. 2 more breaths, inhale and exhale. And 1 more time. Let's stay here. Enjoy this deep stretch on your hamstring, calf and glute. They go together and you should feel the stretch very thorough through all these big muscle groups. And it's completely okay if you are bending your knee, because I am bending my knee too. And then we will try the Hanumanasana by raise yourself up. So stay with me for a bit more. You can make your blocks higher, walk your blocks back so that your body will be quite upright. Maybe you can roll your leg further forward. The back leg is really strong. It's like it wants to kick forward, but the floor is stopping it, so that you keep your hips square. Bend your elbows, really long neck, and squeeze your arms toward yourself. 3 breaths here. It's very intense, but you're having full control of what you are doing. So enjoy the stretch. And after this, use the strength of your arms to help yourself bring the legs toward each other and go to downward facing dog. Walk your heels on and off the floor into the down dog. You can swing your hips from side to side to make nice relaxed movements for your body. Inhale, plank pose, and exhale, up dog. Take 1 inhale in up dog, and then bring your everything down to the floor. Push up slowly into downward facing dog. And then we do 1 last round. Inhale, bring your right leg up toward the sky. Let's lift the leg up higher and higher. And now maybe your hips will flip. But it's fine now and here because there's no weight on your hips. But when we do the split, let's try to keep your hips square. Step your right foot toward your right hand and bring your knee down to the floor. Prepare the blocks with you. Step the foot even further forward and prepare your back leg. Toes can be on the floor or toenails. Inhale, chest up. And exhale, walk the blocks further behind. Bend your elbows, squeeze them toward your body. Be very exposed into the front of your body and into the hip flexor of the left leg. And still here, when you are so exposed, still contract your belly muscles every time you exhale. And now the side bend, put the blocks to the right side, bring your left arm over your head. Keep reaching. Your front foot will be really strong, pressing down to the floor, when the back leg is equally strong, pressing down to the floor too. Slowly get back. And now do the half split. So move your hips back. You can bend your knee. Sometimes if you lock your knee, your back becomes rounded. So I rather you bend your knee and keep your back pretty neutral. Step forward. Maybe this time you see that you can put 1 block underneath your thigh to support you under your thigh, like I'm doing here. Maybe you cannot be in this position. You can keep holding your blocks, but if you can be here, hold your hands at your hips or bring your arms over your head. Notice your front foot, it will try to fall out, but you point your toes up and your kneecap facing up. It requires a lot of strength in this stretchy pose. Paradox. And to get out of here, use the strength on your arms to help yourself move the foot back. Oh, this always happens, but we can fix the mat later. And go to downward facing dog. Walk your heels on and off the floor. Move your hips from side to side. Do all these nice relaxing movements. And then one last vinyasa flow. Inhale, plank pose. Exhale, lower yourself into up dog. One inhale in up dog. And exhale, lay down flat on the floor. Slowly push yourself up and go all the way to downward facing dog. Now be ready to do the other side. So as you inhale, left leg up. Try to go higher than all the time before you did this pose. But look at your right kneecap. Make sure that it's not falling in, it's still facing your face. Step your foot toward your left hand and bring your back knee down to the floor. Hold the blocks with you. Inhale, raise your chest. Step your front foot further and make sure that it's really strong on the floor, stepping down. Walk the blocks all the way back. Raise your chest up, bend your elbows. Stay here for 3 breaths. Being very exposed in the front of your body, but still contract your belly muscles to stabilize, to have full control and protect your lower back. And now the side bend, left block to the left side, right arm over your head. Three breaths here and your legs are very stable. Front foot pressing down to the floor, back leg pressing down to the floor too. Then slowly get out of here. Move your hips back for the half split and then maybe the full split. So move your front heel forward. It's okay to bend both of your knees here to some extent that you feel like this is the lowest that you can go for today. You can keep holding the block, but if you are so low that you can actually sit on a block like this, keep bending your front knee and point the kneecap up, point the toes up, and press all the back leg down. Here you can hold your hands at your hips, easy option, or hands in front of your heart, or arms over your head. Stay here for 3 breaths with full control of your everything. By activating all your legs muscles here, you are making your hips square, and it's very healthy for your lower back. So to get out of this, use your arm strength to have your legs come closer to each other. Move blocks out of your way and then go all the way to down dog. Now let's bend your knees a lot so that your belly is sticking to your thighs, and then do some bouncing movement. And eventually place your knees on the mat, on the mattress, and go to a child's pose. You can open your thigh bones out so that your belly have a space to rest in child's pose. And then rest your head on the floor, or my favorite option is to rest the head on the arms, so that I will not feel too dizzy. It was a lot of intense stretch, but the lower body contained a lot of thick muscle group, and almost all of them in everyone need to be stretched. So you can stretch them a lot, but you just need to learn the safety and the stability of the joint. And then you are pretty safe from injuries. Slowly get out of this pose, and you can lay down on the mat and take a break, or you can sit, and I will finish the class for today. So how was your split? You can leave a comment and tell me about your split for today, and know that everything can change. If you want to improve your split, you can do this class and other yoga classes to on a regular basis, because you should improve the whole body mobility before you do any difficult pose. That's what I think. Thank you very much for doing this class with me, and I hope this helped you not only in doing the split, but also in stretching the tightness out of your lower body. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and click on the bell button to get notification when I release new videos. Thank you very much, and I will see you in the next class. Goodbye.